You know, all of a sudden, a lot going on trade. Welcome, everybody. I'm Neil Cavuto in for Maria Bartiromo. And all of a sudden, we're encouraged by a couple of key developments. First, on what's going on with China and the United States. There could be talks by the end of this month. And again, I want to stress here, my characterization of calling them low-level meetings, as my friend James Freeman reminded me, if the same were said of you, would you? No, he didn't say that. He did not say that. But they're talking, and we haven't seen that in how long, right? In May was the last time people were talking on the phone. July, when they were exchanging telegrams or whatever the modern-day equivalent is of that, emails, whatever. So at least now, this would be face-to-face talks, I believe, set for this country. So we'll see how that goes. Then progress on the trade front, not on NAFTA per se, but with the Mexico part of NAFTA, not so much the Canadian part, and that we're very, very close to something on that front. Again, not involving Canada, but maybe starting with Mexico, getting to Canada. Mattie Duppler is here. Mattie is the Independent Women's Forum Senior Fellow and a board member of the Center for a Free Economy. How big a deal do you think, Mattie, these developments on trade are?
I think on China it's significant. But remember, this is not necessarily a product of the tariff war that's happening between China and the United States. This month was when the president signed into law the NDAA, which had further restrictions on Chinese investment, further strengthening of the Committee on Foreign Investment, the National Defense Act. So this is, what obviously takes care of all of our defense operations and funding those operations. But in it was legislation that really started to get at the bulk of the criticisms the administration has made when it comes to China. That is intellectual property theft, tech transfers, the kinds of things the administration has been saying have been the reason for the tariff war. We actually had durable changes happen in our systems here, and I think you see China starting to react to those changes. All
right, separately with the Mexican talks. Now, this guy coming into Mexico is to the left of Bernie Sanders, right? So he's making more progress, that is the president, the administration, with this guy who's not even in, who's, like I say, to the left of left, versus the Canadians. It's weird.
Well, in Mexico, just like here in the United States, nothing speeds things along like politics, right? So you have the outgoing administration that really wants to get a NAFTA deal, and the incoming administration where has expressed a need for a NAFTA deal, but it's not clear what their prerogatives would look like. So the administration moving forward today with Mexico in those talks, I think, is very encouraging. Now, the question of whether or not Canada can come to the table on what Mexico and the United States agree to is still a very big question.
You don't want to be odd man out.
Well, exactly right.
You're seeing all this press and attention. And,
exactly right. President Trump has said repeatedly that he prefers bilateral agreements. So if Mexico and the United States are able to agree on something, it's hard to see what Canada's leverage is if they decide to come to the table later.
Lindsay, what happens in the markets we get a deal with Mexico?
I think it'll be a very positive sign for the markets. That has been, I've been saying all year, that this has been the cap on the market. It's been holding us back, and perhaps also at the same time prolonging this economic recovery. We're only about a week away from this being the longest bull market of all time. So, but it's not an official bull market until we hit a new high.
So let's play that out real quickly. If it's something we secure with Mexico, but we're still a ways on China, then what?
Yeah, a lot of uncertainty. And even with Mexico, my colleague Mary O'Grady's been writing about how there are all these timelines for review. And you mentioned you've got a kind of a extremist coming into office in Mexico. Is there a sense on the Hill that they can quick step through some of these schedules and get this done before you get a new administration in Mexico?
I'm glad that you brought that up. Not only is the timeline of the new administration in December in Mexico one that Congress obviously has an eye on, but Congress has 90 days before they actually hand that agreement off. So you're right. We need Congress to act, which of course the United States is always a big question mark as to whether or not that can happen. The notion of expediency, I think, will depend on what's in the deal. Congress has been very clear about what they need to see. 90, I think, House Republicans sent a letter to the administration saying that they want investor-state dispute language to be very strong in there. There are a number of issues with auto manufacturing that Congress has said need to be in that deal for them to sign off.
Yeah, I say we want this resolved, but if it gets resolved in a way where there's a sunset on NAFTA, and there's a big, messy dispute resolution process that doesn't allow things to be resolved. If this is putting a lot of sand in the gears in the North American supply chain, I don't think markets are going to welcome it. I think they're going to welcome it if it's more or less what we have now.
But what's weird, Marie, help me with this, is there's far more support for what the president's doing, this trade stance, among Democrats than there has been among Republicans who are leery of the president overreaching here, breaking laissez-faire standards and all of that stuff. So when I hear the kind of support and understanding that the president is getting on this trade front from Democrats and not from many Republicans who I guess are just hoping it works out, it's unusual.
Well, I don't think Democrats are broadly supportive of China, Canada, the EU, Mexico, now Turkey. I think Democrats would be more supportive of focusing just on China and taking on that problem and not taking on the EU and now Turkey over the imprisonment of one American. That's important.
But don't a lot of them feel, especially those in big industrial states, don't they feel that the workers have been screwed over and that this president is tapping into something, that it's part of their base?
I think that's true. People like Sherrod Brown in Ohio, for example, have often been very supportive of tariffs. But there are also people in states like Indiana, like Missouri, who see these tariffs having an impact now on farmers, on workers, and that is not something the Democratic Party supports. Trump has upended the party identity on trade like he has on so many things. Yeah, and reversed everything.
Exactly. I wonder, we were chatting during the break about this, in the end, if we're left with a deal on any front, and where it's not great, but it's a deal. It's like the South Korean thing. It kind of was like watered down. Yeah. The president will declare victory, pick a country, any country, pick an impasse, any impasse. Right. He walks away from it, says they're done, big victory. How will that be read?
No, I think we need a strong deal here. Mexico and Canada are extremely important trading partners for the United States.
But only people like you will be picking it apart. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think so, because we have supply chains that are so fully integrated with Canada and Mexico that it's not
simply... You find out about that many, many months after.
I think that the people right now who are talking in blue and red states with the president about the effects of tariffs and the effects of the trade war have started to realize that we are so fully integrated with these other countries, it's not possible to peel back all those layers in a way that simply picks the things you like and leaves the things you don't at the end.
Okay. Thank you very much. A lot of people just want to get an update on what Turkey is talking about and responding to our tariffs. I told you yesterday that they had extended the tariffs that they were considering against U.S. interests beyond electronics, extended it to booze and cars. I added that it would be double that if it were booze in cars. But they also now have touched on cosmetics, rice, coal, and manufactured mirrors. Do you know what manufactured mirrors are?
What are
just mirrors?
I don't know, but I think drinking and tweeting and driving is what you really need to avoid.
Now it's something, if you're doing it in Turkey, you're in big trouble. And you're an American doing it, you're done. All right.